You've heard it's somebody else's world and you're just living in it. You're stuck and that sucks. Let me give you a mindset that's going to turn that world upside down and your life right side up. Let's go. Welcome to the Grid Podcast. All right, it is somebody else's world and you're just living in it. It's their world, not yours. You feel stuck and that sucks. Welcome to part 2 of It's Your World. This is the final part. It's only a 2-part series. Last time we talked about power and control that you do have fully, partially, or maybe you don't have any at all, but we talked about that. So if you're watching this episode and you have not watched the last episode, I'm going to ask you to just turn this one off, go back to the previous episode, part 1 of It's Your World. We did an exercise. In order to understand this episode, you are really going to need to go back and do the work of the last episode so that this will make sense. If not, it's just not going to, okay? So I'll give you a second to go do that, and we're going to jump right into this episode now. All right. Welcome back. If you went back to the last episode, I'm glad that you're back here now that we can really get some work done. Last episode, we talked about you have power. You have partial power, full power, or no power at all over certain aspects and areas of your life that you noted down on your paper. We also talked about acknowledging that you have control. And again, you have partial control over some things, you have full control over some things, and you have no control over a few things, okay? So we talked about all that. Now that we've talked about that, let's put boots on the ground. Let's take the power that you have, the control that you do have, and let's turn your world upside down and your world right side up, turning that old world that you're currently living in, that dragging, depressing, and just, man, you just feel like you're stuck, that stuck world, and let's turn it into a world of freedom, a world of power, of joy, sound mind, all of those good things. Let's get going. What I want to show you today is I want to introduce to you what I call the RAM blueprint. The RAM blueprint. RAM as in Mary. Ram, like the Rams. In fact, we're going to talk about this blueprint that is going to guide you to that world that you've always wanted to live in. But it's not going to be without work. Well, why did I call it the RAM blueprint? Well, when you think of RAM, maybe you think of a computer. That's random access memory. That's not what I'm talking about here. In fact, with this blueprint, there's nothing random about it. It is intentional, it is powerful, and it is a long-term benefit that's going to get you to where you want to go. If you put in the work, I stress, if you put in the work. And when I think of rams, I was thinking about, the RAM blueprint? I think of the bighorn sheep in the Rockies, the Canadian Rockies. And what they'll do during mating seasons, all the males get together. And man, you're talking about a big, vicious battle. They are going at it for mating rights. And it is a vicious battle. Sometimes it leads to death of some of the participants. Anyway, one male walks away with those mating rights. And everybody else just kind of, oh man, okay. They just kind of walk away. I mean, what can you do? You lost the battle. This too is going to be a vicious battle. If you want that old world to go away and you want to take possession of it, and now you want to guide the new world your way, where you are in control, where you determine what's happening and what's not happening for the most part, and you're going to go meet your goals, it is going to be a vicious battle. So I want to have you pull out another piece of paper. That's right. Another piece of paper, turn it landscape just like you did the other one. Now, in the last episode, you had different areas of your life, your marriage, parenting, your financial situation, your professional situation. Those are just a few examples, these different areas of your life. Now, you're going to use those exact same areas. So you want to get that piece of paper out. Let's look at the first area, okay? Now, at the top left-hand corner of your new piece of paper, I want you to write a big R, and it's called review. Write the word review in the top left-hand corner of your brand new landscape piece of paper. Review. What you're going to do is you're going to take each one of those areas and you're going to give a current review of your current situation in, let's say, your marriage. My marriage is in this state right here. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. These are, but this is where we are. Give just a brief snapshot of the good things that you like about your marriage and the things that you believe need work that just aren't really working for you or her. Okay. In the same way with your finances or with parenting or with whatever professionally, wherever the case may be. This is my current job. This is what I'm making. Okay. Just a current snapshot. Forget about where you want to be. Okay. We're not dealing with that yet. Just your current situation. R is for review, top left-hand corner, and then give a snapshot of each one of those areas. Now I want you to go to the far right situation of the page, top right area of the page, and I want you to write made, M-A-D-E, like a made man. You heard in the what was it, the gangsters, the mafia. He's a made man. Well, you're going to write the word made. Okay, and each one of those same situations straight across from the others, let's say your marriage, what would you say your marriage would look like? And you would have considered, you know what? We made it. Maybe not all the way, but this is the ideal marriage I really, really want for my life and for my wife. What is the ideal situation I want for my family, me and my family financially? What about professionally? What about parenting? What does parenting look like? All those, so you're going to go straight across and under made, where do you want to be? Okay, this is your dream goal. You know what, financially, I would like to make $1 million and to be secure and to live here and do that. Okay, that's what you're going to put straight across from your review. Remember, your review was your current situation. Now, what's the ideal made situation? Okay, and in the middle, you're going to put a big A, and that stands for action. Now, there is a disconnect between the review of where you currently are and the made of where you want to be. This action is your assessment of what do I need to do? What do I need to accomplish in order to get from here to there? And you're going to do it for each one of those areas of your life. Why? Because if you don't know how to get from here to there, you will never get anywhere. Okay? Let me say that again. If you don't know how to get from here to there, you won't get anywhere. Not anywhere with meaning or purpose. And so I want you to be able to take that RAM blueprint, and I want you to map out where you are, where you need to be, and how you're going to get there. Can you imagine going into war or a battle or really anything major in your life without a plan? Somebody said it once, and you've probably heard it 1,000 times. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Can you imagine going into a battle or something like that and not having some sort of plan in place? It just simply doesn't make sense. Realize that you have power. I don't care what anybody has told you, you do. You have power. You may feel powerless right now. You may feel helpless right now. You feel like you're stuck right now. Let me tell you something. You may feel that way, but your feelings deceive you. You are not stuck. You're not. I know it feels that way, and you're like, Jamie, you don't know my situation. Listen, I don't need to know your situation. Okay, let me tell you about stuck? I was in solitary confinement for about 4 months for crimes I did not commit. Eventually, I was released and everything was dismissed. Great. Do you think I felt stuck? I did. But you know what I realized in solitary confinement? I had more power than I ever thought I did. And I didn't realize it until I was in a place where I felt stuck, where I felt like I had no control whatsoever. And in the midst of feeling stuck and having no control, I realized I had a lot of power and I had far more control than I ever thought I could. Trust me when I tell you that, okay? You do have power. You do have control. You're just deceived right now, and it's not your fault. But I'm going to bring this to light for you. And if you will do the work that I'm talking about over the last episode and this episode, you're going to begin to see clearly. The fog is going to move out of the way, and the dust is going to settle, and you're going to begin to see on pen and paper, in black and white, right there on the paper. Wait a minute. I do have control. I do have power. I have more power than I thought. I have more control than I thought. And I've got a path, a blueprint to get me to where I'm going. And listen, if you put in the work, you commit to those action items, you will get closer to where you want to be than if you had not done this work. A lot of people want to work to get over there, to where they're made. But you know why most people don't ever make it? It's very simple. It's not that they lack passion. It's not even that they lack power. It's not that they lack control. It's not that they lack some sort of dream or vision for their life. It's because they have not done the work I'm asking you to do right now. You put in this work, then you will know exactly, for the most part, how to get where you want to be. If you don't do this work, you're never going to make it. You're never randomly going to just fall into success. It must be a calculated, intentional decision and action-oriented, one thing at a time. Let's get there. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. I know that you can. So with that, I want to encourage you. Do these 2 exercises. Make a checklist right away. Start today. Start today, getting to where you need to be. I want to see you made. You want to be made. Let's roll. You got this. All right. We'll see you next time right here on The Grit. Hey, I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to someone extremely special to me and really to this whole podcast. And a lot of you know that I was sentenced to 12 and a half years for crimes I did not commit. About 2 years in, I was sent home and everything was dismissed. And when you come back from something like that, people are a little sketchy about you. Well, one of the people that accepted me and really fully embraced me and does to this day is someone who invested into this podcast so that this podcast could happen and other podcasts I'll be launching. And that's Todd Hoffman from Gold Rush. Todd, I just want to give you a shout out and a thank you for just believing in me, supporting this podcast in every way. Man, I love you, and I wouldn't be doing this without you. So I just really appreciate you. Todd Hoffman's such a great guy. Reach out to him, say hi to him, etc. Check out Gold Rush, Hoffman Family Gold. It is fantastic. But you know what? More than gold, man, Todd is the salt of the earth. So is his family. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for helping make the Grit podcast happen. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. Like and subscribe. You can catch me on Spotify, YouTube, wherever podcasts may be found. Also, check out www.thegritman.com for more information. Share this podcast with guys you know need the motivation and encouragement to become the men they've always been destined to be. I'll see you next time right here on The Grit.